you guys. For those of you who didn't do well on your quiz, I'm going to give you a chance to go through the ones that you miss and to do a retest. But in order to be able to do a retest, you have to be able to tell me what you did incorrectly, okay? So on your quiz, you have to fix what you missed, but you also need to write a little note to the side of it about why you missed what you did, like what you did incorrectly. So with that said, let me hurry and go through the answers for these. Number one, it says that Kayla thinks that the slope of a vertical line is undefined, while Joshua argues that the slope of a vertical line is 0. So remember, when we talk about slope, slope is the steepness of a line, and the one that is 0 is a horizontal line. A horizontal line has 0 steepness, and that's because if it's a horizontal line, if you're going to count the rise over the run between 2 points, you can see that in between these 2 points right here, there is 0 rise. So that makes a 0 on the top of your fraction. And anytime you divide 0 by anything, your answer will always be 0. So that leaves a vertical line, and a vertical line is the one that has a slope that's undefined. Because when we talk about a vertical line, the vertical line has a rise, so it has a certain number on top of the fraction, but it doesn't have a run. Okay, see how this, in between these two, there's no left or right, so that makes the underneath of the fraction a 0, and that's how you get the undefined. Okay, so on this one, you should have said Kayla. Okay, now on the next one, when you find the rate of change from a table, you have to make sure that you are picking 2 points from the table, and please write them down so that you know what 2 points you're working with. And then you need to find the change in y over the change in x. So this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. So when you do the y minus y over x minus x, you're going to end up getting -3, a subtraction sign, and then a -9, over 1, a subtraction sign, and a 2. So this becomes adding a positive. This is going to be 6 over -1. So make sure you're putting that in your calculator just to double check your integer operations. Many of you missed this question just because you didn't add or subtract correctly. Okay, the next one, find the slope of the graph. So if you're going to find the slope of a graph, you pick 2 points that go right through the crosshairs, and then you draw in your slope triangle, and then you count your rise and your run. Now, from here to here is up 1, 2, 3 spaces, but each space is worth 2. So that is really up 6. And then this is to the right 2 spaces, but that's really worth a 4. Now the rise goes on top, the run goes on the bottom. So up 6 to the right 4, that simplifies to a 3 over 2. Okay, now on the next one, it says, which of the following triangles could lie on the graph in question 3? Well, in order to do that, they would have to have the same slope. So the slope of this one is 44 over 21. The slope of this one is 36 over 12. The slope of this one is 30 over 20. The slope of this one is 52 over 26. So we need to find one of these that simplify to be the same as the slope that we found in number 3. And so the answer for that one would have been C. 30 over 20 simplifies to a 3 over 2. And so because those two have the same slope, this one could lie on this line right here. Okay, next part. A line has a slope of 0. So that means when you do the y minus the y over the x minus the x, you're going to end up with 0 over something. Okay, so this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. So 9 minus 6, well, that gives us a 3 on the top. So it can't be that one. This is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. So a -6 minus a -6 over something, well, that gives us a 0 on the top of the fraction. So that would be our answer, because in order to have a slope of 0, you have to have a rise of 0, okay? And if we were to graph those 3, -6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, -6, we can see that the line that passes through those two would actually be a horizontal line, which makes sense if our slope is 0. Okay, the next one. Which of the following is true about the graph of the line? So if we were to graph this using slope-intercept form, this crosses the y-axis at 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The slope is down 5 to the right 1. So we're going to have to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the right 1. And so the line looks, oh, sorry, I missed the points. But anyway, the line looks like this. So the graph would increase from left to right. So this is left, this is right. This one is not increasing from left to right. The graph would pass through the origin. No, this graph passes through the y-intercept of 10. The graph would have a positive y-intercept. Yes, the y-intercept is a positive 10. And then the graph would have a slope of 10. No, the slope is a -5. Okay, and then the last 4 questions. In order to write an equation in slope-intercept form, you need a slope and you need a y-intercept. So the y-intercept for this line right here is 10. And now we need to find a slope. Okay, so we pick 2 points on the line, we count the slope. To go from here to here, I draw in my slope triangle. We're going down 3 to the right 1. Down 3 to the right 1. -3 over +1 makes a -3. That is the equation. Okay. On the next one, if you're writing an equation in slope-intercept form, you have to first find the slope. So pick 2 points in the table, write out the 2 points that you're using as ordered pairs so that you can then use the slope formula to find the slope. So -8.2, subtraction sign, -5 over -2 minus 0. So this really becomes adding a positive, which is -3.2 over a -2, and then that simplifies to 1.6. So y equals 1.6 for the slope times by x, and then when you look for a y-intercept, you can always look where there's an x-coordinate of 0, and that would be your y-intercept. Okay, so there's your equation. Okay, number 9, which of the following could be the graph of the equation -2x? Well, if your equation is y equals -2x, that is really y equals -2x plus a 0, which means that this line needs to cross through the origin. This is the only one that crosses through the origin, and then you can also see that this has a negative slope, right? It's going down. And then number 10. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. So the y-intercept for this one is 450. And then if we want to write an equation, we have to find the slope. So let me go ahead and pick a point right here, draw in the slope triangle. So 450, we're going down 2 spaces, but see how this is 450, 400, 350? This is counting by 50s. So this one would be down 100, to the right 3, -100 over 3x plus 450. That's your equation. Okay, so once you have corrected your quiz, go ahead and bring it back to me, and I will add you to the retest, and I will give you the password for that as well. Okay, good luck.